Caddis Maximus here, this time with a review of the Harbor Freight 6-in-1 interchangeable tip or flip bit screwdriver set. These types of screwdrivers where it's multiple bits in a stem that you pull out and then replace have actually been around for decades. They're real popular because you just had both the basic Phillips and flatheads all in one driver unit. Ender's Tools really, I think, popularized them for a long time, but pretty much everybody makes them now. I ended up seeing these at Harbor Freight, and they're $8 a piece. And I thought, wow, these are amazingly nice. They're actually pretty heavy. They have aluminum body with inserts, rubber inserts, so you actually get quite a bit of grip on that. And then it has what appears to be like a cast zinc insert to actually drive the screwdriver handle and keep it steady in there. And so I thought that was interesting. It's not a machined aluminum billet, it's an aluminum shell that has an insert that holds this. Now, as I was looking online, it turns out everybody from Northern Tool to Great Neck has these drivers. Some of them, they make these little 3 lines polished. So it's some contract manufacturers making a bunch of these. But how Harbor Freight does many things is they get the same products that everybody else does. They just charge a lot less overhead. If you've ever learned much about doing retail product sales and manufacturing, you find that in order to sell a product, oftentimes it needs to cost, if these cost you $2 to make, you would need to sell them for $8 in order to make a recovery, to actually run your business. And that's what's surprising, and that's how Harbor Freight kind of makes an edge. When you see these at Northern Tool, Walmart has one that looks exactly the same. Amazing prices, $15, $20, compared to the very same item sold at Harbor Freight for $8. And that's just because Harbor Freight's willing to accept a much lower markup, and when they make up for it in volume. And so far, that's really been working out for Harbor Freight. If anybody's noticed, oftentimes there's always people in the Harbor Freight store, at least in mine. And I've seen some of the craziest stuff. I didn't have my phone with me, but there was one time where I saw somebody have 2 full shopping carts filled at Harbor Freight. Thousands of dollars of Harbor Freight tools in just one shopping session. It was like a shopping spree. It's surprising how crazy people go for Harbor Freight. Back to these screwdrivers. I got lost on a bit of a tangent here. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at these. So the inserts put in, and there is 2 halves here. There's also a cap, and I'm not exactly sure how it's assembled. I've tried to unscrew it, and so it's either Loctited or this is press fit on. But generally speaking, I have been unable to intentionally disassemble these, and it would seem that it would hold up over drops and that kind of deal. How these are 6-in-1, we'll go ahead and show, is they have these interchangeable bits. And so what you have is the standard 1/4-inch flathead and a number 2 Phillips. These are chrome vanadium, so they're actually pretty good bits. The fit and finish on these drivers is actually really nice. On the other end, you have a 3/16 flathead, so a smaller flathead, and a number 1 Phillips, so the most common size Phillips. And how these are 6-in-1, and this is pretty common, is one size that drives one of these bits is actually 1/4-inch. And then the bit itself actually has a ball dented integrated into the bit. The other side is a bit larger. It's a 5/16 or an 8mm. So you have a 6mm and an 8mm, or 1/4-inch and 5/16. And so this is also used as a nut driver. And that's how they get it 6-in-1, and that makes these actually pretty handy in some additional situations when you have a nut driver. They also have a real stiff ball dentant that holds the stem into the handle, and additionally, what I really liked, you can see, is that they have little cutouts on each side for that ball to fit into, so it actually has a real solid grip. And it's nice and tight in there. I was really pretty surprised. And so these are great utility screwdrivers just to have floating around in your car, or maybe the junk drawer at home where you just need access to a general screwdriver. And how I ended up with all 3 is just I got one for a gift. I bought one when they originally came out, this red one, and I got another one on a coupon. So you can see all 3 colors. The one faux pas I would say on these drivers is that the part number here is not a Harbor Freight part number. That's the original manufacturer part number, and then they just re-etched Pittsburgh on it. So, oops, they forgot to put the Harbor Freight part number on these. So that was one of the mistakes that can happen during contract manufacturing. And so generally speaking, these are recommended. Actually, at my local store, they seem to sell out quite often, and I can see why. They have a nice shape. They have a nice grip. They're all metal, and then these interchangeable or these flip bit screwdrivers rarely had an all metal handle, so that's kind of nice. And they have a really nice weight. I mean, this thing weighs like half a pound, and so it really does have a nice high quality feel. And the way everything interchanges and holds really solid. It has nice definitive snaps. I'd have to say that's actually a pretty good product. Anyway, that's the end of another tool review from Catus Maximus. I really appreciate everybody watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. See you later.